Guys, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for having me. Now, what a Premier League week we've seen, man. Well, Premier League game week that being. We've seen a lot. Arsenal have won back-to-back victories away from home. I mean, we haven't said that. When was the last time Arsenal fans said that? Obviously, Spurs fans, if I can say I love you guys, but you lot lost, making my weekend even better. So, yeah, man. Stars and duds of the week. So, we might as well crack on. Might as well start with stars. I've got it in front of me, of course. I'm going with De Gea. Now, I can't talk on the games I never saw, the highlights I never watched, and things like that. But I don't really think there was a keeper that I'm really gonna scream he needs to be in the stars of the week. He was a star, this, that, and the other. I say De Gea because yeah, United they're expected to beat a team like Watford and things like that. But he made a couple, if you can say that, he didn't have much to do, but a couple good saves to deny Watford getting back in the game. In particular, when United went down to 10 men, and there was definitely a period in that game where Watford were having half chances and things like that. And that's the difference between a good keeper and a great keeper, or even better yet, a good keeper and one that's not. Because if someone else lets that in, United might not walk away with 3 points. They might walk away with one. They might walk away with none. So yeah, man, I don't really feel anybody really deserves it. But just on the basis of Watford versus United, I give it to De Gea. Defense is a tricky one, man. I feel I'm doing some man dirty because I feel there was a couple good performers for a lot of respected teams in regards to defense. But I'm gonna go with Milner. He's gonna go left back for me. Obviously, he was playing in midfield for Liverpool. I felt he had a good game against Spurs. Typically an unsung hero. Typically one that a lot of people, myself included, is overlooked and not really praised when you're looking at the people in Liverpool. So I got to hail him up, man, and he's gonna fit in that left back for me in this side. So we've got De Gea, we've got Milner, Liverpool teammate. He was playing at centre half, but I'm gonna go with Joe Gomez at right back. In my opinion, he had a good game. He had a commanding game. I don't know, but I don't think Trent Arnold had a good game. I feel he was okay, but by the same stretch of the token, he was allowing Gomez to get doubled up on. He was out of position. I don't feel his crossing and set pieces were good. I love Trent Alexander-Arnold, but yesterday, well, not yesterday, better yet, Saturday, he weren't at it. In fact, yeah, it was yesterday. He wasn't. He just simply wasn't at it. To be fair with you, so he's gonna put Gomez is gonna come at right back. I mean, yeah, filling that right back because he's had a good game. Another Liverpool man, Van Dijk is actually gonna go there as well at centre half. I feel Van Dijk was like Van Dijk's Van Dijk. We knew he's a good defender. We know he's not worth 75 million, not on the basis that he's a bad defender or anything. We know the market's going crazy, but the least you can do is just put in consistent and good performances to the point where your price tag isn't spoken of. And it's nothing against him because he's a good defender. He's one of the best in the league. When I say he's not worth 75 million, a lot of players are not worth their fees. The last mad fee that I was ever spent on a player, in my opinion, is probably Cristiano Ronaldo for 80 million to United. Because in hindsight, you could say, obviously at the time it was big money, but you could say with inflation and everything, United probably should have got more. And probably in time to come, Killian will probably be the next one to justify that price tag. But yeah, Van Dijk was decent. Someone I don't really like in my side at Arsenal. Someone that, no disrespect to him, I don't really think much of him as a centre half. I don't really think you signed this man really and truly if you want to definitely get back in the top four, just better yourself. But my opinion is not a fact, and I give it to Socrates. I feel Socrates was again good against Newcastle. He put in a decent game, so I can't really fault him. I don't believe he's a centre half to take us forward and stuff, but at least if he puts in competent and consistent performances, then I can't really get onto him. And he done that. He bailed out Mustafi a couple of times, and I felt he was okay. One of the better games I've seen from him, so he's gonna go there. Another Arsenal player that's rarely in team of the week. In fact, he's probably got the record for being in the most duds of the week. Granit Xhaka, I felt he was okay in the first half. He definitely wasn't one of the worst. And then he obviously put in a great second half, and the free kick was just the icing on top of the cake, or whatever the saying is, the cherry on top of the icing in the cake, or whatever the saying is. So Xhaka's going to go there. My guy Ryan Fraser of Bournemouth, is going to come into the side to partner Xhaka. I took him out of my fantasy team because they said he never trained and things like that, and he goes and grabs 2 goals. Do that next week when you come back in it, bro, or we're going to have words. So Xhaka and Fraser, it's a tough one, but I'm going to put Hazard at 10 to free up a space. Hazard's going to go into the 10 role. He scored a hat-trick. Enough said about Hazard. If you watch the highlights of the game, Hazard ran the show essentially. Yeah, it's only Cardiff, but you can only play what's in front of you. So Hazard's going to hold up the 10 position. He never scored, but I think Lacazette was probably the best Arsenal player against Newcastle, so he's going to come in here. Marko Arnautovic, I'm a fan of his. He got a goal and assist. He needs to be more consistent and he'd be at a bigger club, no disrespect. And I'm going to go with Lukaku. He bagged the brace. Yeah, it weren't pretty, but at the end of the day, you need to put in the goals. And his goals are the reason, ultimately, United walked away with 3 points. So that's my stars of the week. Obviously, I really think I needed to get Yarmolenko in here. Shout out to Bernardo Silva, Sterling, Mesut Ozil, a couple other Bournemouth players. I feel Wilson deserves a mention. So it was a decent one. Torreira on the base of his second half for us. But yeah, man. So to recap, De Gea, Milner, Joe Gomez at right back, centre half in Van Dijk and Socrates, Xhaka, Fraser, Hazard in midfield, Arnautovic, Lacazette and Lukaku, I don't know why I said it like that, complete the side. Into duds, there was a lot of poor performers, but for me, Vorm, it's got to be in goal. Like, you saw the 2 goals. I felt the Newcastle lad could have been in there as well, because Xhaka's goal, I think his positioning was a bit poor, and Ozil's, he definitely could have stopped that from happening. But it's not all his fault. Things happen, innit? So I'm going to go with Vorm. Right back, I'm going to go with Fernandes of Newcastle. I don't feel he had a good game, and it summed him up that he gave away the free kick for our first goal. So yeah, he was okay, but yeah, man. Bamba, he was alright, but he let himself down in the game with the penalty. There's no way of escaping that. So Bamba of Cardiff is gonna play at centre half. My guy Wes Morgan, I didn't want to put him in this, but I have to. Wes Morgan at centre half as well. Vertonghen, someone's got to be here from that Spurs back line. Vertonghen's gonna move to left back. Midfield, this is in the way, man. Can't even see. Midfield is a bit political. I'm going to go with Harry Winks. I felt he was atrocious, essentially. Mohamed Salah in the 10 position. And do you know what? He doesn't play there, but I'm going to put Kennedy of Newcastle purely because he came on as a sub, if I remember correctly, and he did everything. He must have done the opposite to what the manager's telling you. I mean, for me, he was the worst Newcastle player out of all of them as a non-biased Newcastle judge in Newcastle, and he came on as a sub. He almost gifted us a couple goals, which we could have capitalised on. But I'm going to put Kennedy. It doesn't make sense, him playing midfield, but Kennedy's going to have to be there for me. In fact, I allow Kennedy. Sigurdsson, yeah, he scored, but I felt he was a passenger. Sigurdsson and Winks are going to play midfield, in fact. 10 position is going to be Salah. Anonymous for me against Spurs, really and truly. Decision making was a bit poor, very greedy in that game for me. I'm going to go with Mo Salah. Aubameyang's going to go up front, better second half, but again, we pay you to score goals. You're the striker we're looking at to score 20 plus in a season. Not looking like that's going to happen. Alexis Sanchez was woeful yet again, so he's going to be there. And Harry Kane was anonymous for Spurs, essentially. So, yeah, to recap, we're going with Vorm in goal, left back for Tongan, right back Fernandes, Bamba and Wes Morgan in midfield, in centre half, midfield in Winks, Salah, and obviously Sigurdsson. Up front, we've got Alexis, Kane, and Aubameyang, which on one hand, you'd think that's some strike force, but they were all poor this game week. So, yeah, that's my stars and duds of the week. Obviously, Doherty, the fullback of Wolves, really should be my right back as well. I just remembered that, got to hail him up. Felt Neves was all right as well with Wolves. There was a couple decent players. Yarmolenko, probably the one that deserves to be in that side the most. I'd probably take Arnautovic out for him, to be fair with you, but just on the basis, because he came off the bench against Wolves when I went to that game, West Ham v Wolves, and he was decent. So of all of their signings, he could be decent. Felipe Anderson looked okay, but yeah, man. Guys, that's my stars and duds of the week in regards to the Premier League, man. I'd love if you get in the comments with yours, but if not, just like the video, subscribe, and check out my other content. Either way, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for watching, as usual. I'm out.